her hand in it. I'm like, oh, so now you're holding her hand up in the air and you're trying to, get the drawers down another way slowly. And just then, the other child walks in and puts her hand in it. And I mean, I am about to snap. And I told my wife, I'm about to snap. I just woke up 10 minutes ago, and here I am, knee-deep in poopy. My wife says, here, I'll take it. Just get in the car and go to work. So I get in the car, and I'm driving to work. I get out, and somebody says, hi, Pastor Darin, how are you? I said, pretty good. How are you? God bless you. See, anyone can be nice. It wasn't real. Even a tiger and a lion can be nice. Anyone can be nice. But being nice is great. But it's not, but it's only external. Nice is external. Kind is internal. Completely different. Nice is an outward action. Kind is an inward action. Nice asks, how you doing? Kind really wants to know and usually already does. Nice comes and goes and only lasts for the moment. Kind stays a lifetime and lives forever. Nice is pleasant. Kind is moving. It moves you. Nice waves at someone in an emotional pit. Kind lifts them out of the pit. Here's one. Nice buys a box of 20 identical Christmas cards and writes the same thing on all of them and sends them out to the friends and relatives. Kind takes its time to pick out the perfect card for each person in their life and then writes something specific to each one of those people. And I know hundreds of women who start dating a nice guy. He's a nice guy. I asked his friends, they all said he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. And they start dating a nice guy because nice guys are hard to find, right? He's a nice guy. The problem is she marries him and spends 20 years of her life with a man who doesn't know her heart. Because nice only knows the flesh, not the heart. And it's interesting when I meet with married couples, 80% of the time I can ask the wife, does your husband know your heart? And tears come to her eyes and she say, no, but he's nice to me. Well, then you're alone. Kind hits the heart. Always. See, here's the thing too. Not all acts of kindness come from a kind heart. And many times that's exactly what they are, their acts. See, people can act out kindness. That's why they call it acts of kindness. It's an act for some people, and it doesn't come from a kind heart, and it rarely hits the heart. And the only way to identify if kindness is authentic is first to see if there is any manipulation or ulterior motive that follows that kindness. You following me? Secondly, the question is, did it hit the heart? Did it hit your heart? Otherwise, it was just a ploy. It was manipulation. Kindness, folks, really, it's a revelation of yourself. The Bible says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But if you don't know how you would do them, how you would have them do unto you, how do you know what to do to others? You have to look at yourself and have a revelation of yourself. Now, I'm not saying, I know some of you are saying, yes, that's right, you have to first love yourself before you love others. Look, that's poppycock. That's our upside-down thinking that we all have swallowed. You know that Jesus himself, you know what he said? No man hates himself. Well, what about the pimply-faced teenager who looks at his acne in the mirror and sits there crying? Yeah, I know. He's crying because he loves himself. If he hated me and I had acne, he'd be tickled to death. Right? That's why he's crying, because he loves himself. The problem is that he already does love himself. That's the problem. Kindness, though, is a revelation of you. It really is. You know the verse where it says, how can you help a friend who has a speck of sawdust in his eye when you have a plank in your own, right? Now, what is that saying? Is that saying don't help people? No, but it's saying look at you. Look at your problems and your issues and realize that you are frail and weak, and then you will be able to see the heart of every single person out there. That's what it's saying. Once you understand your own weaknesses, you can reach the hearts of other people. But if you think that you are holier than thou, you won't be able to reach those hearts. And that's the mentality. And I know we've got a mentality that says, well, I love the person, I hate the sin. No. Love the person, hate your sin. Their sin's got nothing to do with you. You've got no right to hate their sin, unless their sin's against you, burning your house down or something. But folks, you love the person, you hate your sin. And you look into your heart, and you look at your own life, and when you do, you'll be able to do acts of kindness because you will actually have a revelation of you, and you'll know how to touch other people's hearts. In fact, every point of counseling I ever do is because I've taken a long, hard look at me and all my many failures, and I look at them and I say, oh, I recognize this. I do this one all the time. Here's how you get out of this. That's how I counsel. That's how I touch people's hearts because I know what would touch my heart. Kindness, pure kindness, has the ability to shatter and dissolve things like pride, anger, fear, and even hate. That's the power of pure kindness. It can dissolve those things when it's confronted with those things. It is one of the most powerful aspects that love has, pure kindness. It can change anyone. Pastor told a story of the big move of God right now that's going on in China. And it's basically been, I don't know if it's been started by, but I had heard long ago that it was started by a Christian teenage girl, little Chinese girl. They threw her in jail because she was a Christian, and the guards raped her and beat her. And at night, as the guards sat outside her cell, they would hear her crying and praying, and she would say, God, please don't let these men be overridden with guilt for what they did to me. Just let this wash off them. Let them just forget they ever did it so they won't carry this their whole life. I mean, we're talking selfless kindness, and these prison guards began weeping and crying, and they wanted to know what God this girl was serving that would give her the power to touch their hearts that way. How many of you think that's a good story? That is the power of kindness. It shatters things like anger and rage and hatred. That's what it does. Romans 12:20. If your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. What does that mean? It's saying, in doing this, you will burn up all his flesh and you'll get straight to his heart. I know some of us are saying, yeah, I'm going to give him some food. That'll show him I heap burning coals on his head. And that's the way we think it's God's way of giving us a way to, I'll show him. I'll pray for you, brother. And we think we're putting coals on the head. That's not what it means. God is saying, this is how you burn away the flesh that controls that person, and you touch their heart, and it changes them. Proverbs 12:25, an anxious heart weighs a man down, but a kind word cheers him up. My wife, Angie, we met in Master's Commission. And how many of you have ever been to Master's Commission? I know a lot of the worship team. Okay, a couple of you. Angie and I met in Master's Commission, and towards the end of the year in Master's Commission, see, you're not allowed to date at all. You can't tell anybody you like anybody. You can't even entertain the idea. You just have to go through your year in Masters. And then towards the end of the year, the last few weeks, all the rumors start flying, so-and-so likes you, and everybody starts sort of trying to find out who likes them and who, Well, I really, the first day of Masters when I met my wife, Angie, I decided then and there, this is the woman I want to marry. She has the most incredibly kind heart I've ever seen. I was just in love with her. From day one, literally, from the first night of Masters, and I never said a word. I had no idea if she liked me. So as the year was closing, I had heard through the grapevine that I had 4 or 5 girls that kind of liked me. Can you blame them? Anyway. So, I had this list, and here's the thing, okay? These girls that liked me, okay, they were the in girls. Now, in Master's Commission, at least I can speak for my year, there are 2 groups of people. There are the used and the unused.